Okay, let's bring you some breaking news that's coming out of Thailand. The Constitutional Court there has ordered a temporary suspension of a leading prime ministerial candidate as an MP. Pita Limjaroenrat had won the most number of seats in May's general elections. We can go to Florence. Looi. He was at the Parliament in Bangkok, where MPs are meeting for a second vote on his premiership. This breaking news just coming to us in the last 10 minutes or so, Florence. Talk us through what exactly this temporary suspension could mean.
Well, the Constitutional Court suspension of Pita Limjaroenrat as a Member of Parliament doesn't affect his nomination as Prime Ministerial candidate. It just means he's temporarily suspended, and this is in relation to a complaint that the Constitutional Court has accepted that Pita may have broken Thailand's election laws by holding shares in a media company. Now, Pita says that company hasn't been operating broadcast news for at least 10 years and that he was merely an executor of the family's inherited shares. Now, separately, in Parliament, the members of Parliament, legislators, the representatives and senators are expected to vote for a second time on Pita as Prime Minister. But before that, there is a debate happening in Parliament on whether he can be renominated as a Prime Ministerial candidate. And that's because there is a parliamentary regulation that says that a motion that has already been tabled in Parliament cannot be reintroduced within the same session. And there was already a first vote for Pita as Prime Minister that took place last week. Now, if he is nominated, the vote will take place, but if he doesn't get enough votes, then his party will allow a second party, that is per Thai, with the second largest number of votes in May's general election, to nominate a candidate. Now, that vote will likely happen on Thursday.
And Florence, give us a little bit more background to Pita Limjaroenrat, because his win was a little bit of a surprise, wasn't it? They weren't expecting that his party would do so well.
That's right. Now, Move Forward Party, really, it won the elections on a very, on promise of bringing reforms. It wanted to bring sweeping reforms to not just the political system, but also the military and also the economy. It wanted to dismantle monopolies that control very many of Thailand's most profitable industries. Now, Pita Limjaroenrat is a businessman, and his party, Move Forward, is seen as a predecessor party of Future Forward, also another very progressive party. Now, there are a few scenarios that could play out. Pita Limjaroenrat could win the election. He could be elected as Prime Minister, although that is very unlikely. Now, the more likely scenarios is that another name will be nominated. This will be a name from Pheu Thai Party, the second largest party in Parliament. However, having said that, that party will also face the same obstacles as Move Forward. And that is because the Conservative establishment really do not want to see Move Forward as part of government because of what it stands for, and that is sweeping reforms. They want to protect the status quo. So many analysts have said that Pheu Thai could take a more pragmatic option, and that is drop Move Forward from any possible alliance moving forward. Now, if that were to happen, we expect to see backlash in the form of street protests. Now, Pita could also be banned from politics by the Constitutional Court. That could be sometime in the future, but that is what happened to Move Forward's predecessor party's leader, Thanan. And that saw widespread street protests in 2020. Now, if that were to happen, we could possibly see the military getting more involved again in the form of perhaps cracking down on protesters, possibly even declaring martial law. And that could mean prolonged instability for Thailand.
Okay, thank you for that. Florence Looi there for us in Kuala Lumpur.